Hi everybody, it's Doreen and welcome back to the last day of my Christmas card series. Now when we started this series, I started off with using the Cricket and the Gypsy. Well, I've decided to end the series with using the Silhouette Cameo. So, what does our card look like for today? This is the card that we will be making, and when it opens up, it is a fold-out card. It folds out into presents. So come on and join me, and I'm going to show you how I made this card. Okay everybody, so as I said, this is going to be another card using Erica. And my cut file is from the Silhouette Studio library, and it's already downloaded into my library. So this is the file that we will be using. This is the file we will be using. We've already used this one from another day. So this is the card that we will be making today. So I'm going to double click on it, and now it's been added to my mat, and I'm going to cut it at the size that it came in. So the way it came in is the width is 11.5 and the height is 10.93. So now what we need to do is we need to go out and get the front portion of our card, because this is going to be a pop-out present card and I want to put something on the front. So I'm going to go back to my library and I'm going to look for the tree wording that I downloaded earlier from the Silhouette store, and I'm going to double click on that, and that has opened it up onto my mat. So I'm going to move this over here because we're not going to cut that with all of this on our mat. And what I've done is it came in at the size that is perfect to fit on the front of my card. So I'm going to just ungroup this real quick and go over to this one. And the size for the tree is, the width is 4.24 and the height is 5.130. But technically, you're just going to bring it in at the size that it is, and it fits perfect. So if you're going to make this card, I want you to go ahead, download it from the Silhouette store into your library, lay it out on your mat, put your paper on your mat, cut the card, and then come back and we'll put our card together. Okay everybody, before we go ahead and put our card together, now that I've shown you how to lay it on your mat to cut it with your Silhouette, I wanted to talk about the card creators. I got a message from one of my subscribers who was a little confused about which die I was using when I was giving those of you who do not have the Spellbinders Nestability card creators, the A and the B, and I was just giving the measurements. She was not sure which particular die that I was using. So if you remember in the first video, I did explain that I went ahead and, with the suggestion of one of my other subscribers, Valerie, I went and die cut it out each of the card creator dies. So this is my card creator A, and this is letter B. Now when I was giving out the measurements, I assumed that everyone knew that I was using, if I said I was using A, I was using the largest size of the A creator, which one of the subscribers recommended that I give you which particular die that is. So I've gone back ahead and labeled each one of them so that when I say I'm using letter A1, you'll know that I'm using the largest size of the card creator, letter A. And I'm still going to give out the measurements for those of you who don't have the card creator, but I'll go ahead and explain this so that you'll know which die size that I'm using. So throughout the series, when I was using the card creators, I was using the largest size, which I'm going to call A1, and then the next size down, which is I'm going to call A2. So what I've gone ahead and done, as you can see, I've gone ahead and labeled them A1 through A8. And the same thing for the letter B. I will be saying B1 through B8, through B9, because there's 9 of the layers for the card creator B. So throughout the series, I was using the A1 and the A2, and I was using the B1. I don't think I went down to the B2. So I hope this helps Karen, who was the one that PM'd me, that she wanted to know which size card creator die I was using. So let's go ahead and bring up the supplies so we can do the last card of the series. So now that we've gone and cut it out, we're going to start off by putting our present or our pop-out portion together. So as you can see, it cut out in these little tiny pieces, and what I've done is I've gone ahead and laid down the first layer right here. So what I'm going to do is lay down my next one, and it's these 2 squares here, and you're just going to lay them on top and have them meet right at the perforated edge. And I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see. I know it's hard to see with this paper. So you're just going to take your squares and put them on top and have them meet right at the perforated edge. Now don't go on the perforated edge, just go as close to it as you can get. So I'm going to get some, I'm going to use the Tombow with this, because we're just putting these little pieces of squares on here. So I'm just going to line this up, and then I'm going to put that piece down. And then we'll go ahead and we'll do the next piece. We'll get our tape on, and then we'll add our next layer. Like so, and try to get them as even as you can. So now we'll put on our last one, which will go up here, and you'll be able to determine from the sizes of the squares which square goes where. So we'll add our next one, and we'll get our tape on there. And this paper that I'm using is just some scrap paper that I had left over from actually previous card from, I believe, last year. I always save my scraps because you never know when you might just need just a small piece. So that one's just off just a little bit. So I'm going to see if I can get this up. Might not be able to, but we'll try. Oh, yep, we got it up. So I'm going to try pressing that one down again. And then we'll add our last one, which will go right here. So I'll get this one on. And we'll add this last one. So now, and I'm sorry I didn't say that, what you'll need to do is you'll fold on your perforated edges here so you can get this so that it will pop out when it's opened. So it kind of works like that. So you'll fold it along here, and then when it opens up, it'll open up like that. Okay, and actually this one should be like that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is go ahead and add our strips, which is going to look like our ribbon. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'm going to come back and we can finish up the card. Okay, everybody, so I have my last strip of paper on for my ribbon on the present. So now what we need to do is we need to go ahead and add our bow. And you should have cut out 2 of these. And what I've done is I just cut them out in some regular white cardstock, and then I took my embossing ink and embossed them using the Silver Fire Opal embossing powder. So those are going to sit, I think I'm going to have them right here. So we'll put one on each side. So let me go ahead, and I think I will be using the two-way zig pen. I got it right that time. To add these to the card. So let me get out my scrap paper again and get some glue on there. And then I'm going to take my tweezers and just place this down. Like so. And then we'll press the other one, get some glue on there, and we'll put that one on. And we'll add that one. Oh, we have to remember, I'm going to bring this down some because we don't want to get anything on here, right here. So I'm just going to bring this down to here. Let's see how that's going to work first. Or maybe there. Let me look at that. I'm going to look at the diagram real quick and see if that's where they're supposed to go. Okay, everybody, so what I did was I went back and moved my strips over a little bit because they just didn't look right. And if you're going to make this card, I would suggest you start with putting your strips down at the top layer first and then working your way down. They just didn't look even to me, or they didn't look right when I went to put the bows on top. So put your strips on first at your top present section, put your bows on, and then work your way down. So now we are ready to add this to the inside of our card. And the way this works is this is going to line up in the center here. So you just want to go ahead and get some glue or tape on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape down, let me get in camera frame here, the first, I'm going to tape this side down first. So let's get some tape on here. I'm going to use the Tombow for this strip here. And then I think what I'm going to do is use the ATG gun to get the rest of my tape on. And make sure we're doing this correctly, because we're only putting tape, remember, on this side. So that's correct. So let's just go ahead and get the rest of our tape on. And then we'll be ready to add it to the card. So I want to line this up at the perforated edge and have both of them meet. And then I want to make sure also that I am at the edge along here and the edge along here. And then I'm just going to press down. So that's our first half. So now what we can do, and I think I need to get a new scrap sheet of paper because that piece of paper has got a lot of glue on it, or tape. So now we'll be ready to add our second half. So we'll just close the card up and we'll get our tape along here. And I should be able to just take the ATG gun and run across. And then we'll get tape going all the way down. Like so. And then we also want to make sure we get our little scalloped edges, get some tape on there. And then what I'm going to do is just go ahead and close my card. so that when you open it up, it pops out like so. And there you have it. So now let's go ahead and add our tree. So what I've done is I've cut out the tree as I showed you how to lay it on your mat in the software for the silhouette. And then I've taken and inked my edges using the Chip Sapphire Distress Ink by Tim Holtz. And then for my wording of the tree itself, I've gone ahead once again and embossed and used the Silver Fire Opal embossing powder. Now the camera might not pick up what it looks like, but I can tell you it's really pretty. So I've already popped this up on with some foam dots, so I'm just going to go ahead and lay this down right here. So let's go ahead and get this laid down. We'll take off our foam squares. Okay everybody, so I made a change. I went back and decided that I wanted something else on the front of the card. So I decided to take, and luckily I was able to get this up. As you can see, I didn't want you to see me doing it on camera because it took me a minute to get it off, even though I do use a lot of tape. And I took my textile cut-a-bug folder and just embossed the front side of the card. So now, and the other thing that I noticed is that I didn't have my scallops lined up with the card itself. So I'm going to now go ahead and reline these up to make sure that they're even, and then we'll put them back down on the card. So I'm still just a little off here, and it doesn't have to be perfect, but I just want to make sure they're at least lined up somewhat and there's no overage. So I'm going to close up the card again. And it could be because I don't have the other side lined up, and that's why it's not coming out even. But I just want to make sure that I don't have any of my card hanging over, the inside of the card hanging over. So everybody, now that I've done my maneuvering and getting my inside back on, what I've done is I relined it back up, and then I took some stamps, and this is from various stamp sets. I can tell you that this one is from the Close to My Heart stamp set that is called Holiday Wishes, and I believe I got this when I got the, I can't remember if it's the Artiste cartridge or if it is the Art Philosophy. If I remember, I'll put it somewhere up here in the video. And then these other stamps are just some stamps that came from the dollar bin at Michael's or Joann's. So the other thing that I've done is I decided to go ahead and add some bling on the pieces that are supposed to be ribbon. And then I added some bling in the bow, the center of each bow. So now the ink that I inked this with was also the Chip Sapphire Distress Ink by Tim Holtz. So now we're ready to add our tree to the front of the card. So I'm going to take off the foam tape pieces off the back of here, and then we'll just add this to our card. And then the last thing we'll be doing is I'm going to be putting either some bling or another embellishment, but it's going to be an embellishment that is not a die cut. It's basically something that I picked up at, I believe I picked it up at Michael's. So I'm just going to press that down. And if I didn't say, I also took my Uniball pen and just did some stitching along the edges here. And you probably won't be able to see it because it's very light. And it was just a white Uniball pen. So now what I'm going to do is put on the rest of my embellishments on the front, and I'll come back with the finished card. Okay, everybody, so I'm back with the finished card. So what I've done is taken some recollection bling and put it on the front at the top of the card. So one is in the shape of a snowman, and then the other two are in the shape of snowflakes. And then down here at the bottom, I took some ribbon and tied a little knot. And this ribbon is some ribbon that I picked up at Michael's. And then I've added a little present at the bottom of the tree. And this is a recollection embellishment. The other thing that I've gone ahead and done is I've gone ahead and made an envelope using my Martha Stewart scoreboard, and I've stamped out holiday wishes, and this stamp set is from the Close to My Heart Holiday Wishes stamp set. And then I've added these three little presents down here, and this is an SVG file that I purchased or I found on the web for free. And I'll put a link to the website where I was able to find this file. And then if you're interested, you can go ahead and download the file and cut it out with your Silhouette Cameo. Other thing that I've done is I've gone ahead and embossed it using my textile embossing folder. So that's it, everybody. This is the last card of the series. I hope you've enjoyed the series. And I also hope I was able to inspire you to make your own Christmas cards. It's not too late. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.